Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to Geek It Out. I'm yours truly, the Dave here for our first Out of Your Mind spoiler review of the Eternals. I know a lot of you have been asking for this one to discuss it with you guys. And yeah, let's get it started because I really want to get this going this morning, but then I was experiencing work. It was cold as hell out there, and OT for the HT. They literally were asking me to stay over for work. I was like, okay, I'll stay over an hour or 2 hours, you know what I mean? But hey, time for some discussions right now. And to join me on today's spoiler review discussion, out of your mind discussion, I'm disappointed in you. Loco Lu, I'm disappointed in you. Okay? How about that? Anyway. Beat.
What's going on, everybody? How's it going?
How you been, bro?
I've been all right. Been easy. I'm ready to get down on this review. This is like ooh.
Yeah.
Every time we see a movie, we know.
Yeah, every time.
Yeah, it's like, who's seen it? You just do the salute.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how you know.
Yeah, and that's like definitely 100%. That's 100%. You know. You gotta watch that multiple times in theaters. I'll tell you. But yeah. I can't wait for the next one though. Dude, Nate, is your wallet safe? Is it okay? No, not really.
Nobody.
Not really, DonPrime. Is your wallet safe? Is it all right? And not for me. Not for me. Yo.
Whose wallet is safe?
No one's wallet is safe. Especially
like
this
horny teens in a campsite where Jason Voorhees is around. That's the type. That's what kind of wallet we got. We don't know who's gonna survive. What's up, Adrian? Loco Lu, you just supported me in too? Get out of here. Get out of here, man. Thanks, Don.
Yo. So what's up, guys? I don't expect a lot of people for this one because one is a spoiler review, and also I also wanted to do this for the people that were asking for this. So this is for you guys. And yes, hit the like button if you appreciate the work we do, and also hit the subscribe if you're new to the channel.
Of course, man. We need all the things. We need this. We need people to know spread the voice of Geeking Out. So please do.
Should I cancel my second Rex? Yes and no. Yes, if you need to be prepared for a trade bait in the future, or two, if you want to cancel it and your funds are going crazy this coming holiday season, you might as well just cancel it, get that money back. You don't even need to pay for a second one right now. And I think it's going to sell out anytime soon. Well, almost 17,000 pre-orders. That thing is rivaling that of freaking Mandalorian Deluxe Edition. Yeah. So I think you're safe for now. You could get him later. Yeah. You could get him later versus right now where you're like, oh my God, I got to get this one because it might sell out. I want to trade bait it or, have it to display purpose. Like me, I got idea of two displays opportunities for Rex. One with the helmet and one with the helmet off. And also, have you seen my new display?
No. I think I did see you post it. I think you posted the new display cabinet, right?
Yeah. I posted it on Cisco Survival Guide. So
yeah, it looks good, man. It looks real good. I'm glad you got yours in.
Yeah, it's heavy. It's heavy as hell. Yeah, I might put it right here in this little corner here. You can't see. I'm gonna put it right over there, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm gonna enjoy making that my clone. I have discussed it with the fam, and they said Clone Wars. Clone Wars display. I mean, that's gonna be filled with Clone Wars because this one's gonna be filled with OT / Mandalorian figures.
All right.
And then I'm not sure what my other display gonna be. It's still like sort of like my quarantine. It's no. You know what? Remember the ending of Loki?
Yes.
Remember there's the Forbidden Realm or something.
Yeah.
That's my other display. That's where the Forbidden Realm is. With
where all time ends.
Exactly. Like all my DC characters are over there. That I don't know where to put them at. They're all in there.
Yeah, they're just you should just call it the multiverse area where everyone's just combining with everybody else.
Yeah. Exactly. Everyone is there. Everybody, like my second Cody's over there. My Qui-Gon. I don't know where to put him over here. Oh my God. I got like third-party figures over there that are like missing head skulls because I haven't got them yet. So yeah, literally, it's just a mishbag of extra bodies that I have not used yet. But I'm still working on getting that display.
You need to make it the ultimate showdown showcase. That's what you need to do.
Ooh, I like that.
Because everybody's in it. It's a whole tornado of heroes and villains coming at each other with Mr. Rogers at the top.
Let me see. Oh yeah, Andrew's like, we sold a case, not filled yet. Not yet. It will be. It will be. That's why I got it. Hell, it took me like 2 months to fill up my Avengers display. So can't imagine this one.
I imagine once you get all you 501st, it'll be filled up real quick.
Oh yeah. Don't even get me started at 212. But anyway, guys, let's move on to the spoiler review. But before we start with the spoiler review, I will like to we'll unbox the Mysterio tomorrow night's stream. Yes. So guys, we're still going to be having our stream 6 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. So don't worry, we're still going to have our stream tomorrow. I just want to get this stream out the way because I don't know when we'll have time to actually work on this. Because tomorrow I want to do a morning stream with you guys. Waitlist Wednesday, and then So this is the only time I could do it, and then we'll end the stream like around 7:30 for today. Anyway.
Yeah. And we'll see how long we go and talk about and get into other subjects because there's a multitude of things that happen in this movie that can branch off into many different aspects.
Yeah, but I think before we hit up the spoiler review, we'll just do our small little breakdown of this movie. Okay. And without the spoilers, it'll be like a 5-minute little thing. So my unfortunately, it's do not for this film as far as like going to theaters. Save your money. Wait till it hits Disney Plus. If you're looking forward to watching this in theaters, the only reason why you could be going to watch this movie in theaters is for the lore building. It has a lot of lore building, and that's the most interesting part about this movie. It is the lore building, and I like lore building stuff. Like, I don't mind if the movie's slow as long as you got the lore building portion going. Then we can have fun with the later films. But if you're looking for something that's literally freaking, oh my god, it's freaking Avengers. I'll be like, oh my god, Avengers. Like, freaking Hulk is like, that's my secret, Cap. I'm always angry. If you're looking for some material like that, this is not the movie for you. Okay? This is literally not the movie for you.
Yeah. So I'm on the other side, man. I think you should see this. You should see it. And I think you should see it in IMAX. The reason being is that I think you're right about one thing. It's not really a Marvel movie. It's like almost an anti-Marvel movie. In the way that there's not a lot of punchy quips. There's not a lot of funny dialogue. The action scenes are not that grand or epic. It's more of a character building story. Like, it's about the characters and the philosophy behind them, the ideas of that. And I think what Chloe Zhao did is really great because she was allowed to expand in her own way of showcase we have these immortal people that lived among humans and how they can change because they're given an idea of who they are.
DonPrime is correct. Was this the wrong execution? Right idea. Right ideas. A lot of great ideas. The problem was the execution and the flow of the movie. Because you can tell this movie deserved a series rather than an actual 2.5-hour movie that constrained it. This literally needed like a Winter Soldier and Falcon and Winter Soldier treatment, with an 8-episode series, 10-episode series detailing each character's involvement. Not each character, but pretty much their involvement throughout the history of man. And that's what I feel about it. Like, it deserved more, and the 2.5 hours did not do it justice.
No, it didn't. I think that this is one of the movies that I would believe that would serve better if we got like a Snyder cut of this film, because you could tell a lot of scenes were chopped up. A lot of scenes weren't it was rushed through. If you ever watch any Chloe Zhao's movies, they're very kind of slow paced, but they're building up to their grand sweeping shots of landscape, and there are a lot of character building for that to the end goal. But the problem with this movie is that they did an Avenger movie without any Avenger films prior to it. So you're introducing everybody into this one film. And that was the case with Zack Snyder's Justice League. That movie benefited a lot from being 4 hours because it needed that 4 hours to give you all the new characters. When it's 2.5 hours, you lose a lot of substance.
And honestly, if this could have actually worked, if they had cut down from the 10 characters to 5.
Yes.
I personally feel that for the 2.5 hours, they should have cut it down to 5 and actually slimmed down that meat. Like instead of being a New York, New York strip steak, it should have been a filet mignon. All right.
It really should. They put too many people to get. I understand what they're doing. They're trying to put a lot of people to get the diversity across the board because there's this is our tent pole. This is the most diverse cast we're doing. We're doing a lot of different things. We're putting a gender fluid person. We're putting a gay relationship in there. We're putting a person that's from trauma. We're putting a person like a lady that's in power of the leadership. We're putting a deaf person in there. Like it's across the board. They're doing a lot of things, right? This is the flagship of like, hey, your representation is all in one movie. Well, yeah, it's there, but at a sloppy like a slap together with scotch tape kind of way.
Yeah. And I think we'll go down, which of the characters that would have stayed and which characters we could have cut off as we could progress through this spoiler review. But that's pretty much I think this is the end part of the small review as portion before we enter the spoilers. So this is your warning now, guys. You're watching this video right now. We're entering the spoiler review now of this portion. So pretty much our thoughts overall. For me, it's a 6 out of 10. For me, it's a 6 out of 10. The great ideas, the excuse could have been better. And also I feel that I also give it a 5 out of 10 because they did one of my characters wrong. But I'm hoping they do them better in the sequel. So we'll see what happens. But that's my thoughts before we enter the spoilers. Your rating.
So mine, I think I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. To be honest, yeah, it really is good. Because the thing is like the directing's good. I think the story is there, and it's one of those things like if you go back and highlight and talk about. It really highlights of what's great about the film and what they tried to do about it. But there is a lot of things that fell through, I think, really because it was just a movie with too much. They put too much into one thing. So that's my rating on there.
Yeah, I do agree. I think they if you want to put that much into it, it has to be a series.
Yeah.
Like I honestly, like you could throw everything in the freaking kitchen sink. Identity politics, the works, as long as you do a good story. As long as you do a good story and flesh it out for these characters. And I honestly feel that they could have just cut down the 10 characters to 5 Eternals and call it a day and then mix match these powers. Because honestly, a lot of these characters, could just mix match these powers together. Because like there's characters from the comics that they just not Eternals, but in other movies where they mixed up 2 characters together to create that one character for the film. They've done that before.
Yeah,
you don't have to go all the way. With trying to get every character in the movie. Originally, there was supposed to be 12 of these, and the director said no, we'll get it down to 2. And I feel like it should have been more than just 2. You should have kept on going. You should have cut down at least 4 or 5 characters and then flesh out those characters in. If you were going to do 10, it should have been a TV series.
The problem was like, well, the first thing of like the powers thing, the writers wrote themselves into a corner because it doesn't make sense when they explain like, hey, what the Eternals are. Are we into the spoiler territory now?
Let me see. I think we're gonna get into that in just a minute. Okay.
Well,
let's hold that thought though.
All right. I'll touch back onto it because they wrote themselves into a corner of like with the powers and all that stuff. And the thing is, it's like, if you shorten it down to the 5, it would have been a very tighter movie. Because if you look back at the other, like at all other Marvel movies that came prior, like you look at Shang-Chi,
my gosh, Shang-Chi was beautiful, man. I love that movie.
Yeah, and the thing is, you have the core, right? You have Shang-Chi and his conflict, but then you have the father conflict and the friend conflicts, and then the sister. So you have 4, like you have one main plot and a BC plot going all throughout the film. That's great. This one, each person that you see has their own issue and problem and arc that they're going through, and some of them just don't get resolved. Or really have like a real issue, honestly. It's just like, they just kind of stop appearing, really.
Okay, OG fan. Okay, we'll get to the spoilers now. All right, guys, last minute call, closing time for the non-spoiler review. Now we're entering spoiler discussion, and the first character to discuss here is Ajax played by Sama Hayek. So, your thoughts, my good sir?
All right. So, in terms of acting wise, I felt that I don't know, it was a kind of like a weird, somber leadership that she was leaving. I think it leads out to what she was really trying to hide from everybody else and what she knew, because I think she was the only one that kept her memories intact. I believe, right?
She was yes, she was the leader of the Eternals, and what's crazy about this character though, she reveals this information about what's going on with the history of the Eternals and the history of this planet and the Celestials with her number 2, which was Ikaris. That's the reason why Ikaris did his 500-year journey by himself after the whole mess at Babylon. I think, the whole mess in Babylon. Like the reason why he left Xerxes. Xerxes was like, "Why you were gone for 500 years?" Well, freaking Ajak.
I had to take a dump.
I had to take a dump in my life.
It was really big, dude. It was real big. You had to air that thing out.
Ajak ruined my whole identity because she told me the secrets of the Celestials and why we're here in the first place, not to protect the humanity, but to protect the birth of the new Celestial. Yeah. So
we should let people know. So I think the thing is like that's one of the bigger points is that the reason the way Celestials are birthed is like they are birthed through an intelligence. If I'm correct, like you have to be a certain level of intelligence, and that creates enough energy for them to be birthed. Am I wrong on that one?
Yeah, it takes once the planet reaches peak capacity as far as like the energy is concerned. That's why the Celestial was about to be born right after the snap, about I think a year or so after the snap, because people were coming right back into the mix after a 5-year blip occurred, and then they got blipped back in again, and then that's when the that awakened the Deviants, and then the whole thing with restarted the whole process for the Celestial to be born. Yeah.
But then that brings another issue about the movie, right? So you have the movie saying like, hey, we didn't want to interfere with human issues, right? That was their whole problem. They want, and like throughout Babylon, through all the stuff, and you see them through time of like, hey, I can't do this. I can't join in this because this is humans that need to evolve into their own thing. But then when Thanos comes in, they're like, that's a human issue. We can't do any of that stuff. But the thing was, Thanos's issue of snapping away half the universe directly affects their prime directive of continuing the involvement of human beings. So wouldn't that make it their issue of directly involving themselves with Thanos?
Well, that's that also I think it's a that's where the issue we come to is the fact that you tell us you weren't involved, but you don't show us why you weren't involved. You see what I'm saying?
You were doing.
Yeah, exactly. Like this could have been a perfect opportunity to go through the MCU throughout the 500 years for each character. Like Ikaris, spoiler alert, he is ultimately the bad guy. Not necessarily the bad guy, just that he's doing his work. He's doing what his dad told him.
He's following his prime directive.
Yeah, he's following his prime directive, which is fine. And honestly, he could have wiped all of them. The only reason why is because his love for Xerxes. And also the fact that I feel that they should have showed Ikaris transformation better. As far as like showing him, like this is why a series would have been made. I want to see it kind of like a reverse situation with Superman. You know how Superman went throughout the world learning about humanity and then growing to love them? I want to see like pretty much Zack Snyder's way of doing that for Superman, but reverse it with Ikaris, showing him after finding out from Ajax that the world was ending within 500 years because Celestials was going to be born. We were protecting a Celestial. Him finding out that fact should have pushed him to they should have showed that progress of him going through the planet 500 years, learning humanity again, trying to figure out if these humans are deserve life. Or he should let the Celestial be born. And I want to see what's the reason why you did not like humanity. I wanted to see that progress of him learning. And, that could have been a good opportunity for other characters as well, being involved with the MCU story line. Maybe he was involved in the attack on New York, or, Ikaris, was involved in that area. They're watching everything occur. You know what I mean? Or, saving a few people here and there while he's, monitoring what's happening on, as the MCU is progressing throughout the years. I'm just saying there could have been opportunities where they could have done cameos within these films. You know what I mean? It would have been pretty cool.
I mean, it would have fleshed out the Marvel series a little bit better. Like, you know what I mean? Like if they weren't snapped right during the whole thing, like what were they doing? Like what were they doing there? Because that goes against everything they were trying to do. Like, were they trying to help the people? Were they trying to help? Were they going to help try to cultivate the human society more, just so they can progress faster to reproduce more? Because half the world or universe was cut in half. What were they doing in that
exactly
position?
What were they doing? Now, they did hint on some other characters. For example, Ajak, she was doing the same thing as Ikaris, but the thing is, Ajak, as she was learning about humanity more after the 500 years after Babylon, after they split, she was gaining her love for the humanity more, while Ikaris is doing the opposite. And then when he finally met up, that's when they both started to have their confrontation. Ikaris pretty much like, okay, so I had the same journey as you did, but I experienced it differently versus you. You fell in love with humanity more. I started to hate them. And that was all about telling. And I feel that this is another thing, as I'm writing my book, I'm learning ways to where I need to, make sure I show more of my characters, going through these emotions rather than telling people. Right. So that's the problem I feel that a lot of writers go through. And that's another thing I'm learning with myself, is that I need to show more rather than tell it.
And I think the other thing is that the problem with Ajax learning to love humanity is that, why is it just humanity that she loved? Like, there was no idea that she's been doing this for millennia. You know what I mean? She's the only one that remembers of like, hey, what their mission in the Prime Directive is, and she keeps doing it over and over again to other planets. But why was it humanity that
why was humanity special? She kept telling us humanity was special. The only moment that she did explain that I believe was that humanity pushed themselves to the limits to bring back everybody from the snap. That's the only reason why you felt you pretty much, sold me on your love for humanity. I'm like, okay, I believe that, because hell, they went, above and beyond. They went through time just to save half the freaking universe.
Yeah.
I understand that, but I feel that I do agree. They did a lot more telling than showing, and I really wish they should. And that's the reason why I want a series. Individual, like, you don't have to do an entire series of all these characters, right? But just the main cast, the ones that are really involved with humanity's growth, like Pheonix. It's not his name, that's how I call him, Hephaestus. And then there's Xerxes as well, and then Ajax, and then Ikaris. And then there was
Gilgamesh,
Gilgamesh. Oh my God, Gilgamesh was my favorite character.
Oh, I loved him.
He was my favorite character, and we'll get into that in just a minute.
Yeah, I loved him since Train to Busan. So.
Oh yeah, that was a good one too.
Big guy.
Andrew. Okay, so Cigar's making saying they don't save the Earth and the Avengers with the snap. He knew there was a celestial baby inside, just saying he was the hero and the Avengers were supervillains in the end. He's funny. I like it.
I mean, there's a lot to point to that Thanos, like, I mean, maybe he was leading on to something that he knew more because of the secret cameo at the end of the film, or the first after credits, because it's revealed, spoilers, that he has a brother.
Yeah.
So, what was that all about, and how's that going to play into
things? This is a situation where the character isn't great in the comics, but there's an opportunity for that character to shine in the movie. So I'm interested to see. Really, his brother's it's nothing too grand. He's just he rose Star Fox. Yeah, pretty much he makes you feel good. Busted makes me feel good. That's pretty much Eros anyway. Andres, he's like, this would have been a great series. Of course,
Absolutely. It has
yeah.
so many points to be, has set a lot of good character development points and a lot of good story beats that could have been expanded more, which I said, like I said before, like a Snyder cut or TV series would have been perfect for this. If they have a streaming service, they should have just put it on there. But I think they just ran themselves into a corner, or they, like Ikaris, flew too close to the sun and just shot themselves in the head and the foot.
No, they literally float. He didn't float like too close. He was the sun. He was the sun at the end of the movie. He was the literal sun. But the thing is that leaves us opportunities for the sequel where none of these Eternals that died, they're dead.
No,
because
they're
taken away. Celestials, they could just bring them back again. We could see Ajax again. We could see Ikaris again.
And Cersei's premonition, or the Cersei's expedition dump, when the Celestial was like, all right, I'm going to give you the lowdown of what's happening here. And you see them, they're just like kind of robots built by the Celestials. And there's thousands of them of the same version. So they could definitely just bring back a different version of Ikaris.
Yeah, exactly. That would be pretty cool. But before we continue with the next character, Ajax, she is a healer. So she's pretty much the wizard of the group as far as like healing buffs and all that. With that being said, with knowing that, do you feel that she is going to get a hot toy? And would you, if she does get a hot toy, would you get it?
No, I wouldn't. All right, if I was going to get, if she was a hot toy, would I get her? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't get her. And if would they release her as a hot toy? I don't think so.
She didn't. She's just a healer, and she didn't do enough action to merit the healing powers. Like it would have been cool if she did like maybe life absorbing into her, and to create like she was taking the life out of the deviant and then healing herself. That would have been a way of using her healing powers as an offensive than a defensive. But honestly, she's all defensive. And I don't see her getting a hot toy, even though I love the head sculpt. I love a freaking head sculpt, but I don't think we are going to get one.
Yeah, I'll make a Desperado out of that head sculpt.
Exactly.
That's what I would do.
Here's the thing. All I see from freaking the Eternals line is just me butchering all these characters to create third-party characters. You see what I'm saying? Other shows.
Yeah. Oh my god! I don't understand why she was the real leader. You know what I mean? Like, I guess because she had connections with the Celestial.
She was a mother type. That's the thing. She was very mother to all the Eternals. Like literally, she was the mother. So
yeah, Scar Bacon knows what I'm talking about. Desperado, baby.
Exactly. I'm just saying. But
hell yeah.
All right, so let's move on, shall we? That's our thoughts for Ajax, yeah. All right, Kingo. I have some gripes with Kingo. Like, I don't mind Kingo. I think he has the whole, Yusuke Urameshi power play.
I was about to say the same thing, man. I was about to say the same thing.
I love it. Spirit gun. I love it. My only problem with Kingo.
He used 2 fingers. I thought.
He used like a Kamehameha.
Yeah.
Like he was the inspiration for Kamehameha and a lot of the anime characters. Power plays. That's what I love about the Eternals, though. Like you can tell that each character had sort of like their powers mental.
Oh
no, not abilities. Mental like. The way they interact with each other, you can tell that a lot of their influences, were moved over to other civilizations. Like that's why we had the animes and then all these other movies that were literally sort of based off a lot of Greek mythology, Roman mythology. These mythological gods are literally based off the Eternals. I thought that was pretty cool. I loved how they did that.
Well, I mean, the other crazy thing is like most of the majority of human religion is based off of these guys. So the Eternals created all of like the Marvel religions, you know what I mean? Or the people that follow religion in the Marvel universe are based off these guys. So I thought that was kind of funny to think about. I'm like, no, man, they're just robots that are just caring for a little baby that's in Earth. So,
but my only I love the character. I think he's one of the best characters in the film. My only problem was that they brought in another character into the mix with Kingo, which was, even though I was fine with him. The only problem is, if you were going to throw us another fish out of water character, you should have just kept freaking Kit Harington's Dan Whitman throughout the entire movie. Like, you already introduced Dan Whitman as our fish out of water character, and he was perfect. He was going into the action. He was interacting with Xerxes, even interacting with his brother Robb Stark. You know, at the beginning, I wanted to see more of that interaction with Dan Whitman and the Eternals. Like, show us why he's in love with Xerxes. Because honestly, why do you love this woman?
I mean,
literally,
I think
why do you love this woman? You know,
I think she loved him is because of his charming good looks, man. Who doesn't love Jon Snow?
My man was trying to get her to, live it together. I'm like, my man was pushing. I'm like, look, I want you and I need you.
Yeah,
okay?
But it was still weird for me to say Jon Snow say, "I love you, Cersei," and I'm like, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right at all. But I do love how when Kit Harington met Richard Madden, it's a little callback to Game of Thrones, because Richard Madden in Game of Thrones is like, next time I see you, you'll be in black. And what is Kit Harington wearing? All black, baby.
All black.
So that was very cool.
It was a nice little callback. I enjoyed it. But that's my little take. That's my little gripe.
So you didn't like Karoon, man? You didn't like
I like Karoon. My problem with Karoon was, if you were going to bring us literally another fish out of water character, why didn't you just stick with that? That's the thing, though. That was my problem with Eternals. They kept throwing us characters that you already had.
Yeah, I know, but
we already had a fish out of water character from the very beginning. You should have kept bring. That was my concern. I don't like Karoon. I don't like Karoon.
But here's the problem, Nate. Here's the problem. The problem is, you can't have the Marvel humor with Kit Harington's character, because he's the Black Knight. Karoon, you can make him anything. He's a Play-Doh character. Like, whatever joke you want to throw, he's a big fat man that has so many cameras out of nowhere. You know what I mean?
So, the thing is, also, I felt that guy annoying. At some point, I'm like, oh my god, it's another one. It's another camera. How many cameras do you have, bro? It just got a little annoying.
I mean, that's the Marvel charm, man.
But here's the thing, though. I feel that Kingo had enough charm and finesse to bring the comedy. He didn't need Karoon to add to that. He was already the comedy. He was already the charm of this movie. Like, literally, everybody else was dull compared to Kingo. Kingo was my boy. Yeah. I don't think Kingo needed a double on him.
Well, here's
Karoon, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he didn't need a little more sauce to it. I think
you're right. He didn't. Kamal Nujani. I can't say.
Let's go back. Let's go back up here with
Kingo. He's very. I mean, he's funny on his own. Like, he's actually, like, a lot of things that he stars in. He's actually
literally finger guns. That's
literally finger guns.
Just call me Urameshi.
Hey. So my problem with Kingo is that his character arc completely fell flat at the very end. Because in the third act, when he comes back around, he's like, you know what? I actually believe Ikaris. And, the reason being is that if we stop the Celestial, you're going to have a ton of, you're going to stop a lot of civilizations from being formed.
Well, here's another thing. I think the reason why Kingo did not want to...
Hold on.
Oh, my bad.
Let me finish.
Yeah, good.
And the thing is, with Kingo, for him to say that with Karoon there being his human counterpart, it's very hard for him to say, hey, humanity, see you later. Even though he was the most invested in humanity, out of all the Eternals, he's the one in movies, he's the one filming everything, he's surrounded by humanity, he's not in hiding. It makes no sense for him to say, I think humanity should go because of the Celestials. So the philosophy of what he did at the end compared to what they showed to him as was completely opposite. He even brought his favorite human with him along on the journey. So it made zero sense for him to be just bow out and disappear. And I'm like, how is that a human growth? Because he had there was no inclination of him saying, like, yeah, Ikaris is right. We should just let the Celestial go. So that's my gripe.
That was a good gripe because I do agree. I think they fell short with Kingo towards the end. Honestly, I think there's a reason why. Because I felt the director and writers felt that if Kingo was involved in this fight, there was no time for him to change his decision. Like he literally, if he was involved in this fight, he would have been working with Ikaris in this fight.
Yeah.
Because he literally told everybody else Ikaris is right. Like that's why he wanted to be the third party. He didn't want to join side because if he was involved in this fight, he would have joined Ikaris and then it would have been done. Like my boy Kingo would have been sniping people. No remorse, no mercy, sniping people with his finger gun. I'm telling you, like Ikaris and Kingo, like literally, Kingo literally knows that he's second to Ikaris. Like literally, if these two powerhouses were literally fighting, this movie would have ended with, right at the climax. Like no putting the Celestial to sleep. It would have been done. Celestial would have ate the planet. Done. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, the only person that could have probably beat Ikaris was probably Gilgamesh.
Oh yeah,
Gilgamesh.
But Ikaris played the part though. He was like, okay, Gilgamesh, I like you, bro, but I'm gonna let this guy kill you because you're too powerful.
Yeah, he definitely was. He has the bands. He could have defeated him. It would have been over. Mm-hmm. But the problem is, it's like with Kingo's decision, it doesn't make sense because it should have been back to Druig. Is that how you say his name? Druig. Because he witnessed humanity at its worst and decided to take them over so they can have peace. So if it was his idea, be like, you know what? Ikaris is right. I'm leaving. Goodbye. That would have made perfect sense for him. But for Kingo to come in with his involvement with humanity makes zero sense. So it was one of the things that was kind of baffling about this film. When they had another character that was perfectly set up for that decision to bow out.
There was a lot of, like I said, like I agree with you. A lot of great ideas. The problem was execution for certain characters. I don't mind Kingo. I just felt that, at the end, like literally, did we really need Kingo in this movie at this point? You know what I mean? At that point. But I do also feel that, it's just great ideas and not enough time to
poor execution.
It's
great ideas. There's a lot of great ideas. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So who do you got next here?
Well, before we continue, hot toy or not?
Sorry. Hot toy? Yes, I would.
You want a Kingo hot toy?
Yeah, I would. Spirit gun, man. Spirit gun. Yes. That's the thing, dude. That's the thing. And so I want him in his Bollywood outfit too. That'd be pretty cool.
That actually is a lot more colorful. I think that would be perfect. Honestly, if they had to pick one suit, it has to be the more bright one that that pops. I would prefer that. Let me see. You know what? Because there's no opportunity to talk about the Deviants after this, I think this is a perfect time because there's a picture right here of the freaking Deviant.
All right. Yeah.
Your thoughts on the Deviant?
Very. I mean, I don't. It's I feel complex and confused because it was like, hey, the Deviants were pictured as the main baddies, and I kind of liked how they were like, no, they were just kind of like a prototype that didn't work out well, and you guys are like the new predators that came in. But I didn't like how the evolution just came in at the end, and there was like they were like the third wheel. They're like, all right, I'm here now. Let's just kind of fight or whatever. So they were kind of like a real letdown. They were just kind of like just the monster of the week kind of style to me.
Yeah, you can tell in the very beginning that the Deviants were, taking their powers and their characteristics, kind of like the Transformers, from other creatures within the planet, and then they ended up, able to, out of nowhere, able to absorb Eternals now. Yeah, and I'm here okay, if this was the case, then why wasn't this brought up, a while back about this? Like, if you were just wiping out Eternals, wiping out Deviants to near extinction at this point, literal extinction, but there was no, they never brought up the fact that the Eternals can actually die by these Deviants, and they never brought that up, as the fights went on. They were like, literally, you guys were literally destroying these things. Like there was no competition.
No. There was just like they were just wild animals. It was just like a hunting party. Really, that's what it looked like. And
Yeah.
what's bad? They look. You know what they remind me of? You know what they remind me of? They remind me of. You ever see Edge of Tomorrow with Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
Those aliens. They looked exactly like that. It was like with the tendrils and all that stuff. I was like, I was like, that's a weird way of putting all of them. But
yeah, I understand, Andres. I understand the abilities from these. They copy and paste it from the comics. Certain abilities. I just felt they should have showed it a bit more that they were actually a threat to the Eternals versus humanity. You see what I'm saying? Because honestly, you literally wipe these things out. I'm here like, ugh.
Yeah. Like
it felt very weird, but
yeah, that was the thing. They got wiped out really quickly. Even like when they came back in that rally in the jungle, right? The forest fight, they still got really wiped out. Like they were more of like a story point than a threat.
Mm-hmm.
Like for the characters, that was the thing about it, and that's the thing. I think a lot of people didn't really like about the movies, that the action scenes are not really like, there's not purposeful. They're just kind of like just beats just for them to happen to go on to the next point.
You know what would have been my take in order to include the Eternals a bit more throughout the MCU.
Yeah.
What if there was a deviant that Ikaris was protecting and just watching this deviant, survive throughout the 500 years, and the deviant was taking powers from dead enemies from the Avengers?
That would be awesome. That would be crazy. That would loop everything together.
Yeah, exactly. So you get a deviant with all these powers from the dead enemies of the Avengers. Like, oh crap!
Like the children of Thanos.
Pull a cell.
Oh my god!
They should have pulled a cell.
Well, they kind of did.
Yeah,
they kind of did. They really did kind of pull a cell. Like it was a cell.
Yeah,
the deviant was a cell. Like he absorbed all of them and got all the memories and fighting abilities and all that stuff.
And yeah, instead of doing like a 2-hour movie, to develop that deviant, should have shown like a 500-year, progress with Ikaris just watching over the deviant, seeing how it progressed. Because the thing is, the reason why, you saw Ikaris allowing these creatures to live after they awaken. What if there was one that was still around before that, and he was just maintaining, his eye on it after, he talked to Ajax. Ajax pretty much told him that, hey, we are here to, protect this planet from the deviants, because not for humanity, but because of the new celestial to be born.
Yeah.
And, that's when Ikaris was like, okay, so what do I have to, I'm not sure, what do I need to do? I don't know. What do I need to do? Do I need to protect humanity or hate humanity at this point? Because I need the celestial to be born. Not hate him, but have no love for humanity. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
No, you're perfect. You're perfect. You said it perfectly, man. That's I think that would have been more compelling and made the deviants more part of the story than just being kind of like, hey, they're here now. They're trying to stop us from getting from point A to point B or whatever the hell it is. Because that was kind of like the whole thing. It's like, all right, well, we're just gonna need to give Angelina Jolie something to do at the end.
But I think with the deviant, the main one at the end, I'm not sure.
Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah, I don't think we are going to get a hot toy from him. Honestly, the only villain they can make with hot toys is pretty much Ikaris.
Yeah. Ikaris, and I think Angelina Jolie. They could definitely make. I think those two would be the ones that they would probably make, because Angelina Jolie. Well, we'll get to her and we'll talk.
Yeah, we'll get her. I think we're done with the Deviant. We're done with the Kingo. Sharing our thoughts with him. Okay, Gilgamesh.
Yes, my boy.
Oh my god, I loved him.
The thickness on this man was unreal. I loved it.
This guy was without a doubt my favorite character from this entire movie, other than Dan Whitman's Black Knight. Kit Harington. Other than that, everybody else was like, you know what? I love the interaction between Don Lee and Angelina Jolie's character, Thena and Gilgamesh. I think it was a better love story than Twilight. It was a better love story than Xerxes and Ikaris.
It was. It really was. Like, you really felt for the two in this whole, and the scenes that they even had. Like with Cersei and Ikaris, like you were like, well, we were in love for like many millennia, and we're like, well, what? How? When? Where? And why?
We get a sex scene, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. I completely forgot about this. Like Marvel's first sex scene. I'm like, wow, there's actually thrusting in here. That's very weird.
Actually thrust.
They actually thrusting. I was like, oh wow.
My nephew was like, oh no, look away.
Close your eyes, everybody.
my nephew was like,
human emotions. What are they doing? Fighting
in the sand.
Yeah, she has a deviant.
Yeah, this is not Anakin's territory here. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's weird. It was like raw sand too. It was like, oh man. Oh.
Honestly,
so
you know
rough.
what? You know, because of Xerxes' power, she could just turn the sand into water, and it would have been okay.
Oh yeah,
you
that little waterbed.
No, why did you say that? Oh my God, what's wrong with you? I like that. That's funny. Oh,
she did turn the knife into a little water. She was like, all right, cool.
Yeah. Damn, that's funny. Exotic Carfax, what's up? Toy Box reminded me of Black Widow talking down to Hulk from Reagan.
Raging Down with
Gilgamesh and Athena. Yeah, it was like kind of like reverse. Like Gilgamesh
sunset real low.
Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed. That's the thing, though, and that's why I had my gripes with Ikaris. I'm like, damn, don't do that. You know what you're doing, Ikaris. I know what I knew from the start what Ikaris was doing, and I was like, don't do that to my boy Gilgamesh. Come on.
I was so sad. I knew it. As soon as they set that up, I was like, fuck. All right, here they go. Here goes my boy. He's gonna get taken out like he did in Trade to Busan.
Mm-hmm.
So he's gonna go as a hero. So that was at least good. But I think the reason they had it like that is because like it goes back to like, hey, they want a person with trauma, like a strong female that dealt with a lot of trauma being represented in the movie. And I think they did a pretty good job. Like I think Angelina Jolie definitely sells it. Like you could tell why she's the Oscar winner. I was like, damn, she turns it on.
Honestly, like these Angelina Jolie's Thena and Gilgamesh, these two would have been literally part of the 5. Like them and Kingo, there you go. That's 3 right now. So we just need 2 more, maybe 6. Throw in Xerxes and call it a day.
Well, Cersei is the main character of this film.
Yeah, so we got to throw in Xerxes.
Yeah, Cersei is the main character, and I think I don't know. I mean, because
let's do 7. Okay, let's do a solid 7. Because I think 7 is fine. I think the Avengers was 7. I think Avengers was 7, right? 7. Yeah, let's do 7. I think 7 would have been fine. All right.
Yeah, I could tell you who can probably leave. Oh well.
Well, as we go along,
we'll go on. We'll do the we'll do the end of like, all right, what's your 7?
Yeah, we'll do our 7 towards the end. I think 7 is a safe number. It's better than 10 because 10 that was out of nowhere. I mean, there's 3 characters literally that we could have just 86 and called it a day or merged together to make one character. But Gilgamesh, Hot Toy, please. Hot Toys. Dude. You already gave us a damn Cos baby for this guy. Please give us a Toy Per exclusive Gilgamesh.
Will this get you into Cos babies? If they don't release one, will you get a Gilgamesh Cos baby? Because it'd be the only Hot Toy.
Possibly. If Hot Toy does not deliver Gilgamesh, I'll be my first Cos baby and my only Cos baby. I love Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh was my boy, man. I teared up. This was the only time I freaking teared up in this damn movie.
It was
because of Gilgamesh. I'm like, oh, Gilgamesh, and then Athena was like, damn it, because Thena couldn't save Gilgamesh, because she was going through her mental damage.
It was the one thing they really did execute very well. Like, because you could tell, like, hey, they're doing something that was set up and it's paying off because, like, she can't move or attack because she's messed up in the head.
Mm-hmm.
So it played off very well, and then the sacrifice was made, and we had her. He was offed midway through the film, I guess, right?
Yeah, midway. It was midway when he got it in perfect form too.
Yeah, imperfect, baby.
Imperfect form too. So. And like I said, I felt that Ikaris was protecting that Eternal for a long and that Deviant since the very beginning, because he could have killed him. Just that he was protecting it so he could develop some powers in order to kill Gilgamesh or several other Eternals, because he didn't want to do it. But he was going to do it, but he kept like holding back. So
yeah, and I was wondering if because if he upgraded, right? If so, like that imperfect cell upgraded, he would have upgraded the other ones. He would have distributed and made them like pretty much impossible for them to kill all of them. because they were having a real rough time just trying to kill the ones that are there. Like
Yeah,
they almost lost.
I was thinking as well. If that was the case, he was transferring the Deviant was transferring power to the other Deviants.
Yeah,
that's a good way to introduce other villains that died in the MCU and bring their powers into each of them.
That would have been good. That would have been good.
And then
Children of Thanos come back.
Yeah, exactly. That would have been a perfect segue into showing how well the Eternals would stand up into the most powerful villains of the MCU.
Yeah.
Think about oh my god!
Right. You should be writing.
Oh my! That's
what I'm
writing my book. I'm writing my book.
Yeah, you have your own book now. You can put it in your own book.
Yeah,
you can put it in your own books. Like this is how good they are.
Exactly. So, all right. Well, I'm at 15 chapters, so I need 5 more chapters to get to 20.
Yeah. Oh shit! Just have it have a filler arc.
Have a filler arc. Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna go on a summer beach vacation. Hold on.
There is gonna be a summer beach episode in my book. So I'm just saying. But anyway, right. Gilgamesh, top tier character of the show. I love the movie. Loved him. I cried. I laughed. He was awesome.
Yep, definitely really good and very well acted from the South Korean actor.
All right, so let's move on. Give me a second.
Yeah, so it's definitely a buy for me, guys, on this one.
Yeah, if the Hot Toy comes out, it's definitely buy.
Yeah.
I will definitely.
Even though he's a one and done, maybe we'll see. I don't know if he'll come.
Like I said, they can always bring these characters back because of the infinite library from the Celestials.
Yeah.
So, oh my God, imagine like in the sequel, Athena has to fight Gilgamesh.
Ooh, that would be very good. Yeah. That'd be very good.
That's gonna hurt me. I'm like, oh,
what's up, P-Rock?
Yeah, P-Rock in the house. Barrett, what's up? Lord Thundercock, as well. Let me see what else. Barrett, with the movie trying so hard to be inclusive, I'm surprised one of them didn't have them missing a limb.
They were disabled.
There were disabilities.
She was deaf.
Yeah, there was characters that had disabilities.
Yeah,
and also
Ikaris,
like mental strains. Thena.
Yeah, Athena had a PTSD or some kind of
it was sort of like some PTSD. Yeah.
Yeah. So they did do it.
Okay, Druig. Played by
Mind
Barry.
Control. Mind Tinker.
The Mind Tinker, yeah. I honestly I did enjoy this character a lot more than the rest of the crew as well. Like he was part of that crew that I enjoyed because I understand what he was going through. The idea that, you know what, I can save humanity by just keep them, controlled. Because humanity can control, they can't even control themselves from killing children. Right. And I'm here like Druig, he can just, mind control them to be, be pretty much robots.
Civil and all that
Civil
stuff.
Robots.
Yeah. But the thing is, to Ajax's point, you can't have them robots because then they won't become intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
And that will not feed the Celestial. So that's why she was like, hey, please stop. Just let them go. This happens all the time. But to your point, he actually was a surprising character that I liked. And I think it's due to the credit of the actor. The guy he's pulled out like surprising hits in his other films. Like if you ever watched Killing of a Sacred Deer, he's a freaking jackass. Like you want to just strangle the hell out of this guy. But he really put down, he really did, gave it his all in this film and pull a real surprise performance in it. And I think it was kind of weird seeing him as like a good guy toward the end. I thought he was going to pull a heel move and become the bad guy, but he's pro-human apparently, even though contrary to what I said before about how he should have been the Kingo position.
Honestly, like I would have loved it if we actually saw, his like he's one of the characters I would have loved to have seen, a TV series from, as far as like an episode progression. Like what because he hated humans for what they were, but then he grown to love them to the point where he allowed them to grow. Like literally, he said it towards the climax. Like, you know what? I had the power to keep these humans in check, never to fight in wars, just be peaceful. But then he was like, you know what? If I did that, they would have never grown to what they are today.
Yeah. I think, and that's the thing, that it just keeps being said instead of explored, and that's
Exactly.
and because that the point is, that's the heart of the whole film, that they keep saying, but they never explored it. That's where why the film kind of fails a bit toward the end. It's just there's too many ideas and not enough time.
Too many ideas, not enough time to execute them, and also it was a lot of tellings. And
right.
I did
dumps, man.
Yeah, I did enjoy this character though, but I feel that a show would have built up this character to show why. Like, there's characters that started out hating humans or not having much interest in them because of their animalistic ways, but then they grown to love them. I wanted to see, like, what was the reason why. Ajak is fine because she did say the snap. Snap was really, after everything happened, what happened with the snap, and that really solidified her love for humans. And I'm like, okay, so humanity, I got you.
Yeah. Brother, like, the thing is, it's like, now that I'm talking about it, and I'm like thinking of allegories or like similar shows that like kind of did this. American Gods did this. They took like one episode, right? One specific episode that had nothing to do with the plot, but it just explored that god and how they got to that point. And that's exactly what this movie should have, or these characters needed. It was just like, hey, freaking Druig, like, just having one episode of just after him in the Babylon, what did he do? Where did he go? How is his idea of humanity? And how did he become to love them? You know what I mean? Like, you control them, do what you want, but now you get bored. You don't get any growth out of them. And it's when you let them go and have them grow and learn from their mistakes, you're like, wow, I can appreciate what they're doing now. So that's what it is. Yeah.
I agree, man. And now Hot Toy Potential, not really, because he's only mind powers.
I want him. I mean, I want him in either this like sleepy time wear or the leather. Like, he comes in, he's like, "Hey, what's up? I'm Hugh Hefner. Welcome to my mansion." Like, legit, he comes. It's like either pulling up to the Bunny Ranch.
Oh god, it was the Bunny Ranch.
Yeah. Or the weird, like, he's also into metal. Like, he has like a grunge look, or 1950s like greaser with a leather jacket toward the end, which I didn't understand at all. And I'm like, when was he in like that stuff? Like, just keep him in the sleepy time outfit. I've been fine.
He was one of those characters I did enjoy, with Gilgamesh and Athena, and then Thena, and I like Ikaris as well, Ajax and Xerxes.
But he had a love story of his own.
Oh yeah,
remember? He had his little little thing going on, and everyone was just like, "Wait, is that a thing?" And the audience was like, "Wait, is that a thing?" Like, because they actually called it out. And
I was disappointed with that. That will be the next character we'll get into. Possibly we'll see what comes up after him. But I felt that was a missed opportunity for their love story character as well.
Yeah,
because I'm like, you just threw her into the freaking Doritos ship for like 500 years, and it's called a day. I'll be like, why didn't you just have her with him if they had such a connection? Why?
That's what I don't understand. Like, they had and like the thing is, it's like they had a good building block of like them being the opposites. Like, yeah, they're completely opposite in characterization, but they understand the similarity of what their goals are about humanity. They're like, oh yeah, sometimes the rules need to be like leaned or bent into. And that was a kind of a cool scene. But then after that, I was like, hey, you remember you missed me or whatever? And I'm like, what the hell is this? What am I watching right now? Why are they doing this?
It was weird. It was weird, but let's move on. No,
wait. One thing. What was up with the black tablet and the Twinkies? Do you remember when he had the Druig took like the Twinkies box and swaps it with Ikaris?
I don't know.
What the hell was up with that? Was that something that
someone explain in the chat, because I really don't know.
That's the question I want to know. Is like, what was that? Like, there's no point where Ikaris was munching on Twinkies or whatever. Like, they're trying to do a Ghostbuster thing or a Die Hard thing. It was just like, this is like just a quirk that they just left in. I'm like, well, why?
Yeah, it was very weird. But also, V, thank you again for joining, man.
Oh, of course, man.
I really enjoyed this conversation with you, because I know we wanted to do like a review thing for a very long time, and I do appreciate stepping up, and and I do like our pretty much our thoughts on, like, you like certain things, I like certain things, and we're agreeing and disagreeing on certain things. I like that. I think that was really good. Man.
Of course, man. I told you, man, I'm movies through and through, man. I live and breathe them, and I try to break them down as best as I can. So I try to understand why people disagree or not like certain things, and I kind of like learning about that about people. So I'm more than happy to jump on in any review, any and all reviews. So I'm here for you, homie.
Appreciate you, man. So, damn, who is next on this damn list? Let's see, because I haven't seen this article yet. So
Yeah,
it was
this
just
is a surprise
superpowers
to
and
me.
everything.
So it's just at random, whoever's next.
Thena,
Yes,
hot toy, of course.
Oh, easily, 100%. Let's get that out of the way. Hot toy.
Yes. Yep.
Take my pre-order right now.
Take my
Angelina
pre-order.
Jolie.
I've waited.
Yeah, 100%. Blonde hair, Angelina Jolie. I didn't think she could get hotter. She did.
Mommy,
so,
this is mommy right here. This is mommy.
Freaking, I am so astonished because I grew up with her like since Hackers and all that stuff, and I'm like, man, she is hot. And I'm like, and then I look at her and I'm like, all right, she's just blowing everybody out of the water with her looks because she has legit movie star looks, and I completely forgot that with a certain string of movies, like they try to get more normal people, but she is just. You just look at her, she's like, man, she's just drop dead gorgeous. You can't deny that. No one can.
Now, I can see, my God, if Hot Toys can pull this off, freaking rooted hair, of course. Rooted hair.
Dude, they did. Yes. That would I'd be like $300 with rooted hair. Yeah, all right. Yeah, you got me. 100. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll definitely do that. Thing was a majestic on its own. Good God.
I need yes, of course, Toy Box, of course. Gilgamesh had me just
for 500 years.
Yeah, 500 years. But here's the thing, though, and most of it was just pretty much mental love. Mental love with each other.
Fermenting that spit beer or wine or whatever the hell that is.
He was living the dream. Living the dream. Like. No physicality, it was just pretty much that mental love between each other, and I love that. I'm like, yeah, God, find someone that will stick with you for 500 years, like Gilgamesh. Okay, I'm just saying, my boy stuck with Thena for 500 years.
Yeah. Yo, God, man, so good. I don't know what else. I mean, what else can we say? I'm like, she's top tier, man. Yeah, she was the warrior, Athena, just freaking badass weaponry, just like coming in hard every time, just freaking messing everything up. It's too good. Going toe to toe with Ikaris.
She's going to be in the sequel. Yeah, exactly. Toe with Ikaris, and also she's leading the pack for the sequel.
Yes, which is a great. I mean, I think that was a great move on their part. And now when I was like, why is Angelina Jolie in this film and so like side character? Like there was. Like the first line she said, because I remember I was watching her. I'm like, what's the first line she said? And her first line was no. And that was it. That was her first line of the film. Go back and watch it. It was kind of funny. Like she barely has any lines in the film.
Wow.
Barely any.
I liked when Gilgamesh pops up and then Gilgamesh just, takes Angelina Jolie's hand. Is like they're just walking together holding hands. I'm like, oh my God, they're so into each other. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I love the chemistry between the both characters. And the thing is, what hurts me is that their chemistry and their love for each other and their growth really sold me in that movie. Like that was one of my favorite parts of this. Why did this love story do better than the main
Ikaris
characters
and Cersei?
Exactly. Like I would have believed if Gilgamesh would have.
I'll tell you why.
Remember Ikaris just stopped midway from killing Cersei. That he's like, I love her so much. I would not believe that. Literally, I would not have.
No one did.
That. Now, if it was Gilgamesh and Athena, and Gilgamesh was the one about to kill her, and I can't do it.
Yeah, here's the reason why. The reason really is that it honestly, Angelina Jolie and Don Lee had great chemistry. They're great actors. They knew how to play the part, and their story was very, very simple but yet complicated at the same time. So that was the real thing. Their chemistry was off the chain. While Richard and Gemma, Cersei and Ikaris, Ikaris was just like a stone wall the whole time. Like I didn't understand. Like he had one tone in his voice. Like he never. You see him like kind of like go angry and cry and all that stuff, but like But when he's with Cersei, it never felt like they were ever a couple. It felt like they were like brother and sister, which is even weirder. But that's kind of like, I don't know. It just never worked out.
It was a very weird relationship.
Yeah.
At that point, I was like, why am I here? Why are we here to suffer?
Yeah. It's just he's exactly the freaking Metal Gear Solid 5.
That's the meme.
Yeah. That's
meme.
Exactly it, dude.
I'm just interested to see what they're gonna do with the actual weapons, because she had so many different weapons, shields. She
had the Vin Diesel pitch black Riddick freaking size. Did you see that at one point?
Yeah.
I was like, yes, Riddick is back, baby. I loved it.
You know, I would have loved to see more Athena and Gilgamesh working together, because it looked like Gilgamesh was the tank that, like literally the tank in the role-playing RPGs, but with that offensive capabilities. And Athena was like the DPS, like literally go like Gilgamesh would open that opportunity for Athena to deliver the final blow. And
Gilgamesh pulled the aggro, was what they would say. Like he pulled all the aggro. Athena would come in for the killing blow and all that stuff. So, and then you had we'll go over the other ones as well. So. Top tier. She was
Hot
the best.
Toys is going to happen. I can understand why Hot Toys decided they wanted to, do a sneak peek for this character already. A few weeks back. So it's a definite 100% pre-order for me.
Holy shnikes! We'll be in another realm if that's rooted hair. I can't wait.
Yeah. It'll be a lot of fun to see. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Hot Toys, because of the popularity of Thena and Dina Jolie, this probably would be the only figure they probably come out with that freaking movie.
Yeah.
But here's the thing though, we got Eternals coming out too. Number 2, they're working on hopefully maybe a Eternals series with the same characters. So there's more opportunities to bring back these characters to Hot Toys.
I want to know if Chloe Zhao is going to come back, because that'd be very interesting to see her take on, because Chloe Zhao is very concentrated in filming in real world locations. So if they do a sequel, it seems like it's going to be in space, and with her way she films, it's going to be very weird, because she's not very
Eternals in
space. That'd be awesome. Oh God, yeah. I'll be there. I'll be there to watching to see what they put out.
Like I said, like I'm okay with the movie. I enjoyed it for what it was in theaters. But I know a lot of people, like literally, I was at the theaters, right? At the top part of the IMAX theater, all I saw was cell phones. Everywhere.
Yes, it's like I said, man.
It was a filled-up show,
but
full of cell phones. After the hour and a half mark, everybody was on their cell phones watching the movie. And I'm here like I've never seen this before. Literally, like I've been at EndGame 3 times, full packed theater. Most of them literally probably watched this movie 3 or 4 times, right?
Yeah.
They're not on their cell phones. This movie, however, everybody was on their cell phones after the hour and a half mark. It was annoying, but I understand why. Because
I get it.
There was so much. It was a literal lore dump in the movie.
Yeah. The thing is that this movie is not meant for the age group that Marvel is geared toward. You know what I mean? This is for older people to watch this film because of the heavy subjects and all that ideas that go behind it. That's why I came in wanting to hate it because of all the stuff that I heard about it. I'm like, oh, this is gonna suck or whatever. And the only thing I think the thing I thought was gonna be good, it was because Chloe Zhao was such a phenomenal filmmaker. I was like, all right, at least I'll see what she can bring out. But then when I learned about with the philosophy, the heel turns and character stuff and what they were trying to do, I really appreciate what they were trying to go for in this film and the cinematography. Like, I really liked the ideas, but the execution didn't mend together at the end. And that's why a lot of this movie falls flatter. But if you're telling me like this movie's worse than Thor Dark World, you are out of your damn
mind. No. Thor Dark World is still bad.
You're out of your damn mind.
You're out of your damn mind. You're out of your damn mind.
Get out of here.
Thor Dark World is better than this. You're out of your damn freaking mind. No, bad. Shame on you.
Yeah.
Shame.
Yeah.
Meet later.
Maybe. We'll see what happens. But either way, guys, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it better than Dark World. I think people are literally trying to compare it to Dark World. Okay, and I wish that this film took some points from Dune. Like Dune was a long movie. Dune was a slow movie. But
Dune was a lore dump too.
Yeah, lore dump too, but was properly executed.
Dune was a bomb.
Was a
it
bomb.
was the bomb.
It was the bomb, yeah.
We have even another person says it was the bomb. Dune was awesome.
Yeah.
And like Dennis Venue knew what he wanted to do. He played it out. He's like, I understand the failures of the first film and why that failed. I understand why the sci-fi films failed. And he knew. He's like, all right, I'm going to plan this all out and make sure every scene is purposeful and leads to the next thing. And I always thought that was great. So, Jeff, you passed out watching Dune. What's wrong with you?
How dare
you watch
you,
it at
Jeff?
home? That's probably why.
Damn,
probably watch it at home. I watched it in IMAX, true IMAX, man, true IMAX. It was like I was in the theater. It was insane, dude.
Yeah,
insane.
But another thing, NDN Sif, how you doing, NDN Sif? But I'm gonna let you know. Warning: we are in the spoiler discussion.
Yes.
So I know you haven't seen the movie yet. So for Eternals, so in the beginning, in the first 20 minutes, it was just a regular review. But this is a spoiler review, so I don't want you to get spoiled by anything. So if you need to get out, you got like 5 seconds.
3, 2, 1, everyone dies. No, that's not true. Kind of.
All right, so let's move on. Let's move on, guys. Let's move on.
Icarus. John Madden himself.
John freaking Madden.
No, it's just Richard Madden. John Madden here.
Icarus. Right. I both hated and enjoyed this character. I hated this character because of the simple fact this was one of the characters that really got hurt by the telling and not showing. You see what I'm saying? Like they were telling me that Ikaris like had no love for humanity after the 500-year walkabout, and I'm here like, show me that. Show me why Ikaris decided, hey, you know what? Even if I love you, I love my brothers and sisters, Eternal Gang.
Right.
But if you're telling me I have to say no to Daddy Celestial about bringing out another Celestial and bringing more life into the galaxy because of one planet full of humans I do not like.
Yeah.
Show me that. Show me why Ikaris, felt that the Celestials were right and humanity needed to be sacrificed for another Celestial.
Yeah, you could have had Ikaris fly out of those 500 years, seeing like the planets that the Celestials were making, and understanding like they are a purpose in the grand scheme of things that is needed. And I understand that the love of humans that you have are bad, like are granted, but what the Celestials create is something that are beyond us, and that would have been enough for him to be justified in his actions. Trying to convince them is like, you don't understand. Like, instead of being hateful toward them, you should have been more empathetic of like, hey, I understand you hate humans, but you don't understand what I've seen, what the Celestials can do, because no one remembers or no one's seen it. And that would have been great, because that's the thing. Everyone had their memory wiped. They don't understand the Celestials. They don't get what they do or how they benefit the whole universe. So for him to be like, hey, that's it. Let's just screw off. It doesn't make too much sense, dude.
Oh my God. What are you doing? What are you doing? My cat just jumped over here.
Oh, bring him on screen.
No, now she's gone.
Oh, damn.
Okay,
just a drive-by hit, bro.
Drive-by hit that, like, she literally tried to crash into my damn IG-11.
She's trying to get the freaking Grogu. She got a bounty. She has did you check if she has a beeper? Has a little beeper?
Yo, make sure of that. No, there she is. Come here. Come here, Rain. Come here. No, don't run away. Don't run away. Come here, yo. Okay, I got it. Okay.
Oh, kitty.
Okay, if I could bring up my damn
I believe in you. Use the Force.
There we go. There she is.
Aww. What a cute kitty.
Look at the camera. Look at the camera. She's trying to figure out where to sit. No,
she's just, dude, her eyes are locked onto Grogu, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, so she's getting mad at me. I'm like, you're the one that jumped over here. God. I thought you wanted the attention. Yo.
man.
But either way, also NDN hit them gains, baby. Pump it, pump it, pump it, pump it, pump it.
Pump it
Hit
up,
that
man.
Gilgamesh,
Pump it
baby.
up.
Pump it up. And also pump them likes up, guys. I know we're only 33 people watching, but I appreciate your 33 people watching.
Thanks for coming in, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for all 33, man. This means a lot. I know it's our first time doing it, but you know, you start small, see what we go for, and we'll see if it.
Hell, I don't even, I'm not even caring about numbers. I just want to discuss this movie with you guys. Discuss this movie with you, V. So
I mean, it's a hotbed. You know what I mean? It's like there's like a polarized audience on this one. You know what I mean? It's not an Endgame where it's like it's great, it's made great, and it ends great. This one is just like it's all over the place. Like people love it, other people absolutely hate it. It's divisive, and this is like the best movie to talk about.
Yeah, you know what would have been cool though with Ikaris, his explanation. You know, if they did it right with the show, with a show with him, you know, showing this 5-year progression with humanity, and he noticed all the heroes throughout the Avengers. He even mentioned that, hey, I could lead the Avengers. You know, jokingly, like he's been watching the Avengers. He's been watching humanity grow. And the one thing he could have said that would have sold him on this idea, the reason why he does not like humanity, is that no matter the good they do, they continue to repeat the same mistakes over and over again, never learning from them. Even all the good they have done, they still make the same mistakes over and over again.
There's still hunger. There's still people still being hungry. There's still homelessness. There's still, there's still war. There's still racism. There's still class inequality. Like he could have knocked out, like this movie is full with like, being, as they say, woke. You could have just leaned right back into it saying like, hey, this is what humanity is. Like it could have been all those things. It's like, hey, I know humanity has the capability of love, right? You gave the Superman, the Richard Donner version is like the humanity is meant for great things, like, but you got to be the son to teach them for all that stuff, that whole spiel. I can't remember it, but Marlon Brando does a great version of that, but he has the opposite effect. You know what I mean? He's the injustice Superman. He finally realizes, what humanity is, and that what I would have
loved, like, because Ikaris, he learned how to cherish human life at the time because of Xerxes. Yeah, and that's what he was doing for 500 years was going around. Part of that was going around the earth, helping those that need that. Kind of like sort of like a Hulk meets Superman.
I mean,
traveling, helping those that in need, right? Yeah. But then he sees the Avengers. He sees United States, what everything that they're pushing for, and he sees like what, all these people with power, and they don't do nothing to help the world. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what I'm saying is that Ikaris could have been that. Thank you. Ikaris could have been that, that gateway to those subjects, where it could have been the opposite of Ajax. Because Ajax sold the greatness that humanity can overcome, and what she sees that they're doing well with. And what is this cat doing? Stop it. And then Ikaris was like, hey, you know what? I just see everything you're seeing, but the complete opposite, because I was involved with trying to help the world when the world didn't want to help those that needed it. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? I feel that there's a story 100%. Involved with Ikaris. There's a story involved with Ikaris.
Like they did touch upon it, because Cersei was like, oh, you're learning their language. Oh, you're helping them plow and all that stuff when they were together. And I think there was a B plot of them, what we're talking about, that was cut out in the beginning of the film. But that was so long ago in the film, because the film was so long, you forget that, he was trying to be a part of humanity, and then he just kind of left. And then you did not understand what he did later. You know what I mean? Like he was like, I love his heel turn at the end. I think that was one of the greater points in the film, because it made so much conflict between the whole group that you journeyed across and to get to that point. But it also failed on a lot of points, because you didn't see his backstory of how he got there. The only thing you got there was like him and Ajax discussing a few things, and it was just like, yeah, I know you told me, and but I think you're wrong, so I'm gonna kill you for it. And she was like, all right, I get you. I still love you though. And then that was it, and that's all we got from them. And that is very hard as an audience to care when that happens, because you're not putting enough effort into that. Like I get what
you're not invested. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we
Like,
invested a
when
lot
Ajax,
toward the end of the journey.
yeah, when Ajax died, I felt nothing. I literally felt
Yeah.
nothing. I felt
Yeah.
more of Gilgamesh. Like hell, I felt
Yes.
more of their love story with Gilgamesh and freaking Thena than I did for anybody else in this movie. There's certain
Yeah.
characters I did feel more towards as well, but it was more fleshed out with Gilgamesh and Athena.
The thing is that Ajax's death was muted because she just accepted death and was like okay with it, but still fought against it. You know what I mean? She's like, "Oh, you don't have to do this or whatever." Instead, you know what she should have did? She should have pleaded on behalf of humanity. It's like, "Listen, you may kill me, but please reconsider the idea of humanity and who they are and how great they could be." Would have made a better weight to her demise and how she died than just being like getting pushed into thin ice and just kind of, pulls a shotgun out of nowhere and showing how real.
It was weird. It was
Yeah.
just weird.
Yeah.
But either way, I think this is going to be a hot toy because he plays a villain and a hero. So it's the perfect balance. And also, I feel like this is one of the best Supermans I've seen in a while, like a reverse Superman. So I do appreciate the work they put into Ikaris. I just wish we saw more.
I do like how they put, and now that little thing of like, oh, that's Superman in there, and it's kind of weird to think that Marvel has the DC comic books. Like DC comic books exist in Marvel universe. You know what I mean? Like
it's also reversed too.
Yeah. But like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like there's an alternate, there's not DC characters or whatever. It's just like, hey, they just made a comic book and it's there and they still follow those. Cause like, Clark Kent, there's like, oh, should I call you Clark from now on? It's like, oh yeah, weird. But that, I like how now that line has more weight to it instead of being a throwy, jokey line away, because that's the idea of what he's supposed to be, but turns out not to be. So.
All right, so let's move on. We're definitely gonna get a hot toy out of this. I think.
But are you gonna get it?
Yes, I'm gonna get it.
You're gonna get him?
Okay. I'm gonna get him.
Right.
He plays a bad guy and a good guy, and so I could like have him go up against Athena and Gilgamesh. So it's okay. I think, and also it's opportunity for Rob Stark's head sculpt. Come on.
Yes, a very good one that you could put on to the who's doing it? Is it 3-0 that's doing the Game of Thrones line?
Yeah.
So you can put this head sculpt on the 3-0 guys. So it'd be actually a little bit better.
All right, so let's move on. Let's see who else we got here. Okay. I'm trying to figure out.
Festus,
Festus, right? Festus. I always called them Ephiatas from the. That's how I used to call them when I was a kid growing with mythology is Ephiatas. But Festus, right? Festus,
yeah. I do like how it says technology? Question mark?
Question mark. Technology.
Like, maybe we don't really know. He just kind of makes things. Like he just like there's no real like rhyme or reason. He's like a tinkerer. Like he's kind of like Rocket Raccoon, but better because things just happen in front of him. Like he just makes them appear. You don't really see him building. Like you just see him like kind of like doing the Minority Report with his hands, just like, and then doing some jutsu when he was taking out the orb. So I was like, oh, cool. Like, yeah, from the Leaf Village, huh?
Like I feel like he was a letdown. They let me down on him, and just a tad bit because I really enjoy this character. I really enjoyed it. I love characters where their powers is with the technology, not their super strength. Like they can work, they can beat you with their intelligence. I love that. Like Dr. Manhattan, level 1, level 10, level 1. Pre-level at like amateur level Dr. Manhattan.
Oh, when he first appeared, like what he was like, just taking out like mob guys.
Yeah.
And just waving his hands like, all right, get out. Whatever.
Yeah. Pre-evolution of Dr. Manhattan. You know how Dr. Manhattan, like the Digimon, the different evolutions, or Pokemon. This will be like second form.
It was pre-symbol Dr. Manhattan because he didn't have the symbol.
Yeah.
That's and then when he became the symbol, he was like, now he's on God level status. But yeah, he was a letdown, man. It was just like the problem with his story arc was that it was chopped up between too many story beats, because his idea was like, hey, listen, I want to give the humanity technology so they can improve and do more and do all this stuff. She's like, it's like, hey, I can give him a steam engine to do so much. And he's like, no, they can't. They won't understand that. Give him a plow. And he's like, but I can do it. But then he goes too far and gives him the Atobomb. And you see the thing.
I love that. I love the fact that he did not listen to Ajax. Like, you got to be patient with them.
And that was
be patient with them. Yeah.
And he became reclusive because of that, because he gave too much, and that was the whole thing with Einstein and all, the people that were a part of the fat man and little boy, was that, they created, he's like, I become Shiva, the destruction, the destroyer of all things. And it's a heavy weight of him, living with that. And he's like, why even do this if this is what's going to be the end goal, where I just kill everything instead of furthering life.
But another thing that disappointed me with this character, like, you can tell there was like animosity towards number 2, which was Ikaris. Ikaris has always been number 2's Ajax, and the thing is, there was the fight involved. There was a moment where Festus was like, "Hey man, I've been waiting to do this for a long ass time," and I'm like, "Why? What did Ikaris do to you that made you feel that, I've been wanting to beat you down since the very beginning? What did Ikaris do to you to make you feel that?" And that's why I got mad. I'm like, I would have loved to see that. I would have loved to see the progression of this character feeling this way towards Ikaris. I'm like, you didn't show us anything of this. No. You just told us literally, I've been waiting to do this for a long time. And I'm like, wow.
They did it with Athena too. He's like, you've never beaten me. It's like, oh, I wanted to. I always wanted to try. And like all that stuff. Like, was there an idea? Like, was there a point where they were going to fight each other? Like a family, like get an intersquabble and Ajax squashed it or something? Like any of that.
We didn't see that. We literally did not see that.
They had an idea, an opportunity to do it when they were in the woods. Like they could have had it there. It's like, I want to do this. I want to do that. And then, Ajax steps in and, he's like, oh, you have to go through me or whatever. They could have done any of that, but why? Why
are you hating Ikaris? I'm like, show me why you're hating Ikaris. Because at that point, you're like, they should have changed up the line better. They did replace it. Like, after what you did to Ajax, it's going down.
Or you always underestimated me. Like, even in saying that, it's like you've always
underestimated me. Yeah.
Yeah. And what I can do and my abilities. And now I'm going to show you.
Instead of the classic anime line. Waiting to do this for a long time, man, to keep you down. And I mean, like, what did Ikaris do to you specifically? I mean, like, what did he do to you? Did he like? Was there like were you jealous of him because Ajax considered him number 2? Like,
or Ajax let him do whatever he wants, and while Ajax always shut him down, that would have been good, right? It's like Ikaris is like, I'm going to do this, right, and then Ajax is to Festus is like, you can't do that. You can't give him that. That's wrong. But Ikaris can do whatever he wants because he's the favorite.
Yeah, there was nothing involved with that. There was no dialogue or not. Like, they literally told us at that beginning of the fight, I've been waiting for this for a long time to bring you down. And I'm here like, why? Like, I love the fight though. I love how he used technology to bring down Ikaris.
Yeah, and he zapped his powers to do whatever.
Like, he was using Ikaris' powers against him. That's how the technology was so, the rings. Yeah.
But they also like blew past a plot point that was shown early in the movie. And he's like, Festus is like, Festus. So he's like, yeah, I don't use technology anymore. And then Ikaris blasts the wall, and it's like, it just has no damage, right? I was like, oh, they're gonna use that again when they're doing the hive mind and collecting each other, right? He's gonna put up a whole shield wall, and nope, actually not really. He's just gonna beat up everybody. That was like, I thought that was very weird to show that he has the technology to stop Ikaris's eye beams, but not use it later. So, well, I don't know. There's just another.
It was so weird. Like, there was so much potential for this character. And they just, they just threw it away throughout the movie. And I'm like, come on, Marvel, come on, Disney, you can do so much better with this character, and instead of just telling us what he can do. They showed us, of course, but I felt that there was so much more with this, and I feel that a series could have helped this character. So
it would have been better.
I liked him. I really liked him. I honestly would love a hot toy. I would love a hot toy with him, especially with the technology that he was throwing at Ikaris. Yeah.
Imagine him going in and sneaking in and help him making the nano glove in EndGame. with a rocket and stuff like that. Like he sneaks in and is like, hey, listen, I know they're trying to do this. Let's get everyone back. And he sneaks in some technology for Rocket to help build, the nano glove. That would have been perfect.
Or not even. Remember when Tony was trying to figure out how to create the time travel bracelets? Maybe they could have threw him in there just a little tad bit, like, hey, bro, here's an email, blah, 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 or, discussing with him, hey, I've been talking to this guy for a while. Like, who guy? Like, we've been trying to figure out how to, see if time travel can work. They could have thrown that in there,
Honestly, I thought Festus was going to be revealed in this movie as the creator of the 10 rings from Shang-Chi. Like that's what I thought they were going to do, because he created more bracelets. I was like, oh, easy pass. So he's like, oh yeah, I made some 10 rings before. Like I made rings before or bracelets before. And he could have had that throwaway line like he was the creator of those things. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. That's a good way to bridge those two. Because that was like super alien technology. You know what I mean? That he tried to have. And then that was hidden away because Ajax was like, you can't give this to people. Like this will screw everything up.
So Stacy is asking, hey, Nate, did you and V like the movie? I liked it well enough to buy the figures. If they come out with the figures, I will buy them. That's pretty much, I'll say, like, it's a 6 out of 10 for me. 5 out of 10 because they didn't do my boy justice. Several of my boys justice. But we'll get into that in just a minute on which character I felt very like, damn, man, really? But V, go ahead.
Yeah. No, so my idea was like I came in hating it, but I ended up loving it a lot more than I thought I would. So I was giving it a 7 out of 10. I really like the thing is it's like there's a lot of ideas and story beats that I love that they explored and philosophies that they were going for. The problem that ultimately ended up was that it's not long enough for them to explore it perfectly to give a great execution to it. So like the execution of all the things were where it fell flat, and that's why it's not as good as it should have been. So yeah, maybe it was his previous forms that he made from the ring, and that was the thing that would have been perfect. So that would have been great if they put those two together, but they might have something else others that could lead to Fing Fang Foom for Shang-Chi of like where those rings are coming from. So that's probably where they're going with that.
Yeah, like I said, great ideas, just poorly executed. Not time to execute those ideas.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, everyone's talk about Makari, right? Makari? I think it's Makari.
I think it's Makari. Or the every time I think of Makari, I'm like, is that the place where you can get other hot toys to buy off of?
Yeah. Makari.
She's great in Walking Dead.
I like her and I don't like her. I don't like her because they threw her in a freaking Dorito for 500 years. Are you out of damn mind, Disney? You throw Makari in a damn Dorito ship for 500 years? Literally? Really? Is that what you couldn't do anything else with this character? Just throw her in the freaking Dorito ship? Like, come on.
I mean, the character is like weird. You know what I mean? Like, so these Celestials make these perfect beings that take on the Deviants, but why is she deaf? Like, I understand, like, hey, we want to make inclusiveness, but like on a story beat, like, why would they make one that's deaf? Or she said like she's deaf because of the sonic booms that she continuously makes just made her deaf. That would make,
and then that'd be like a design flaw at that point.
But that's what I'm saying.
You don't make your F-22 go sonic booms.
But
and then it starts destroying your freaking after one sonic boom attempt. Like, oh, there goes the F-22. There goes
there goes the fin
off the terrain.
But it still works. It still flies, baby. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, why would they give her super speed and then also make her deaf? But like, is it because like the sonic booms like hurt her ear? It doesn't make. It's just that's another thing that's just like it just writes itself into a hole. Like, the more you think about it, it's just like, wait, that doesn't. They don't coexist with each other. Like it's like a thing of like, hey, we're trying to put everything together, but it's just on very thin strings. It's like for us, the audience, to make the fill in the plot holes.
Mandalorian, they did that well with the sign language with the Tusken Raiders.
Yes, that was great.
That was great. It makes sense. They don't speak the language to the native languages as far as like humanity is concerned on the planet.
Yeah,
or
whatever
the other
they're
races.
actually speaking
But,
on there, who knows?
Yeah. So the only way to communicate with other individuals is through the sign language, because all they're doing is like, "Arr!" So
Yeah. But these are celestials of intelligent design, right? Just make one of them deaf. Like, see, that's the thing. Like, the deviants, they were flawed because they evolved into predators. I'm like, well, that was across the board. But she's the only one that's deaf. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't. I don't understand. Like, why? Like, on a story level, like, I understand on a marketing level and all that stuff, like the Disney stuff, like all that stuff. I get that, of like, hey, you have a deaf character, you have a deaf actress playing a deaf character to be representative, but on a story beat, it doesn't make any sense.
To the point where you threw her into a damn Dorito ship for 500 years.
Bye.
I'm like, later. What was the point of this character? Literally, this character would not have existed at this point if you threw her for 500 years in a damn ship.
They said that she had a lot of scenes cut out, so there is probably a Snyder cut somewhere. So we'd put that letter there, but they just find her just. Well, the thing is, the Doritos underneath, like a ton of like.
I mean, you call it a Dorito.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's a flying like tortilla. Like, it's like, hey, you just need to put in some salsa, man. The Celestial's the salsa dip. You just got to put that Dorito chip in it. It's freaking nuts, man. Like, it was under all this rubble and rocks, and then she was just chilling there with like chips and books forever. And I don't get it. It just the problem is like they keep doing these things that they don't explain and letting the audience figure themselves out for themselves. Like, it's great when you're just like, you turn your brain off, like, all right, cool, whatever. That's like, yeah, she's there. They found that's where she was hiding out this whole time. Cool. All right, great. So why?
Very weird. Single story, I do. Yes. We'll get into that once we hit with
this
character, because he connects the dots to that segue as well. So we'll get into that.
Once we Ego get too. He's a celestial. He's a celestial.
Chip goes into South. wait. Chips goes into salsa. Sharks into salsa. Salsa shark.
Salsa shark.
So hot toy or not? No hot toy. Like,
no. She'll be a third party.
Yeah, she'll be a third party.
She'll definitely be a third party.
Now, we might see her as a hot toy in the sequel. Or TV series that comes out, but that's hearsay right now because it's not doing well theatrically. So as far as I don't think we could see these characters again, but not in a proper sequel, but more like other movies, like they did with Hulk. Like, they couldn't make another sequel for Hulk, but they threw him into other movies. I feel they're going to do the same thing for Eternals.
The reason they're not making another Hulk is because Paramount still has the rights. That's why they couldn't do it.
Yeah, exactly. But I feel that they're going to do the same thing, sort of a way, but for Eternals, throw the Eternals in other movies.
Yeah, because the thing is, I think people are finding out Eternals really doesn't fit into the Marvel universe in a very great way. So people are like, I'll just skip it. Wait for Disney Plus. It's really not going to be a big issue for me to just not see this one. Well, Shang-Chi had a lot more things that was in like teased in the trailers, like, hey, you see Abomination. Hey, you see the Black Widows there. Hey, you see other things. It was really inverse in the Marvel universe, inverse stuff. So that's why that one film was made better.
Yeah.
Or people want to see it in droves because it was like, I need to know what happens next.
But all right, let's move on. Let's see who's next. Ball in the barrel here. Sprite. Wow. I can't say she was the ball in the barrel, but I feel that she was underappreciated as well.
I felt her freaking, I don't know. Like, so here's the thing about Sprite. Like, her conflict just kind of, I mean, it just came out of the, left field at the end. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of like, hey. Yeah, I'm just like, I'm not a real boy. Like, they did the Pinocchio thing with her or him, or I don't know. Is it her? Right?
Yeah.
I don't want to be like, I'm not being insensitive. I really don't know.
Pan.
Or Peter Pan. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, you're never grown away or anything like that. Like, it was very little impact with this person. Like her connection with Kingo was like the like the character arc that you wanted to have. Like she's like, oh, I was always in love with Ikaris, but we could never be together. I'm like, well, why?
This
Like,
is another character I felt like Eternals. Why Celestials? Why did you do this? This is why did you do this to this character the way you did? Like turn have a what this is about like young adult teenager to body like
I'm a real boy.
I'm a real boy. It's just so wrong, Celestials. This is so wrong. Why would you do this? This is another character, another system flaw in the process. You're like, oh, you want to take this back? No, send it out. Like,
time. And it's like, whatever. Who cares? Like they make illusions anyway, so it doesn't matter.
You know what drove me insane? Xerxes had the power to create Sprite into a real boy.
Yes.
But my problem was, why did you just turn Sprite into an adult?
Yes.
Why?
It's like you can age, but like, why don't you just make Sprite's appearance older? Like, why wait? You know what I mean? Like, why let them grow and die young? Like, it wasn't that she was like suffering from being not aging and living too long, like a freak in some vampire stories. She was suffering because she looked like a kid and couldn't connect with a real love with anybody. That was the whole point. So now she would just die of old age. Who cares?
Very weird movie with certain characters here. I'm like, wow. Okay. And then you know what's funny though? Everyone in the theater laughed their asses off when Druig just came in with the freaking rock. I was like,
yeah, that was the best.
Cheering. It was just laughing at how stupid it was.
He's like this eternal freaking immortal, and the best thing he come up with is like me smashy rock.
What a literal rock! I was like, damn, yo, kick rocks, Sprite.
Yeah,
kick rocks.
Like, was that like a weird Cain and Abel like reference? Like, were we missing something? Like, what the hell? Why?
Oh God, this is another character that could have been done away. Like, no.
It would easily just been like, okay, like I think Ikaris needed just another person just to like give some drama to Cersei before she got there.
Honestly, it should have been Kingo.
It should have been. Ikaris. It should have been Kingo. It should have been Druig that was there. Like it should have been like there could have been a myriad of other people that would have been better instead of this person. Like it makes zero sense. And it was weird.
Don't get me wrong. I like Sprite. The only problem is it was the execution for Sprite.
I don't know, man. Sprite wasn't like an enthralling character. Like she was all right. Watch it again. She's just pouty throughout the whole time. It's like, oh, you got to do this. Oh, you're doing this. Oh, blah blah blah. She just complains throughout the whole film about everything, and just pouts, and then stabs Cersei in the back, right? And then it's just like, hey, GG. I'm sorry, you win, but can you make me into a real boy? By the way, I'm a real boy. Like that's the whole character of Sprite. It's freaking stupid.
All right, no hot toy. I'm not gonna.
No hot toy.
No,
who knows? Maybe third party. Probably not.
Third party, yeah.
Because if it is, just
our favorite sex scene of all time in MCU, Xerxes. I'm just kidding.
Cersei's her second Marvel MCU character. Do you know that, Nate? This is her second time playing a Marvel character.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she's in Captain Marvel as the blue alien. On one of the things. That's her. Yeah. So they liked her so much. Chloe Zhao liked her so much. She's like, she's too beautiful behind that makeup. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. She is very beautiful. She should not be in that makeup.
Okay, so she got range. Like she was fun to watch in Garn. I remember from that character. I liked her. I liked that character in Marvel.
I really want them to cross paths at some point.
I think she's dead though in Marvel.
Is she? I can't. I only watched that movie once. I think
she died in that movie.
All right, I believe you. I mean, I'm not gonna. I didn't really like Captain Marvel that much, so I'm just putting that out there.
It was a very weird movie, but I still prefer this one over Marvel. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I think Eternals is way better than Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
I can go on for days with that. But anyways, we're not talking about Captain Marvel. We're talking about this movie. How do you think she did as a main character? What's your thoughts on that?
I enjoyed her for what she was in the story. I think that the whole premise of her, enjoying humanity because she taught humanity how to grow.
To farm, actually. She taught them how to farm.
Exactly, to grow things.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like that that part in the story. But my problem with Xerxes was they're trying to shoehorn me the damn love story between her and Ikaris, and it doesn't make no damn sense. Their story, because they needed that detail in order, just not because of the love, but the fact that they needed a reason why Ikaris doesn't kill everybody and their mother.
Yeah.
And I hate when writers do that. The only reason why they add a certain detail in the beginning of the movie or the middle of the movie, just so one character cannot destroy everybody. And I'm here like, Ikaris literally could have destroyed everybody. Like,
yes.
Like, literally, Ikaris, why? Why didn't you just GG, call it quits? Because you literally just wiped out the entire Eternals and just make the new Celestial. Like,
well,
why didn't you do that?
He loved them.
He loved
all of them.
No,
yeah.
He didn't.
It was the power of love.
The power of love. Yes.
It's a curious thing. Makes a one-man leap. I can't say it. I don't want to get you demonetized.
Well, he leaped all right into a damn sun.
He's like, it was a pleasure, Mr. President. Pew! And just, he poochied himself. He literally poochied himself. For those that watch The Simpsons, you know who Poochie is, and you know how that ended. But back to Cersei. It's just like that final scene where she's doing her best Full Metal Alchemist impression of transmuting the freaking Celestial. She, like, you have that flashback between the two, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot they had an Indian wedding, which is very weird, and I completely forgot any of that happened because it was all the way in the beginning of the movie. I think if they peppered their love or explored it at all, like even when they're in the village of like, hey, remember when you did this or that or whatever, would have been even better. It would have made a better conflict, because now she's choosing the love, her eternal love between Ikaris and the human race is like, which one do you love more? And it would have been better if like Kit Harington was there showing that conflict, right? Instead of like you said, of like, hey, having Karoon there, Kit Harington be like, listen, I will die. I'm the new love of the people that you love, right? And he's in mortal danger. And it's him choosing between Ikaris's ideas of creating a celestial to create new universes, or keeping the status quo of the person that's there that's loving her now. And they didn't do any of that. It was just like, we'll just do flashbacks. Don't worry.
Yeah, like I said, I liked her. I don't mind her. There's a lot of execution problems with this character, and Xerxes. I'm interested in seeing what they can do with her in the next installment. Yeah, but in this one, I just hate the fact that they have to throw us this love story that is not working. Because really, there's no connection. The only connection they had is that we just started up on Earth together, so it's all good.
I'll give you this. What she really did well was that, like, trying to fit into that leadership role.
Yeah,
I think that was very well. That was good. That was great. You actually felt for her because she's like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. And everyone's kind of looking to her, but understanding her plight the whole time. So I thought that was she performed that very well.
Yeah, I did like that, though. I think if we just, straight off from that love story and, maybe, like I said, had freaking my boy Kit Harington, more involved in this movie than just being a throwaway character in certain scenes, I would have preferred him, growing, showing us why Xerxes also in love with humanity. And Kit Harington was that, that character that could have helped progress that story for Xerxes, and it was
her choice. Yeah, it would have helped propel her choice of why she chose humanity. Because the last time she talked to Kit Harington was on a cell phone, and they were just joking about. It's like, so was this you? Was this you? What did you do this during history? Instead of like Kit Harington's like, hey, listen, I do love you, and I want you to know that I don't know what you're doing or how it's all gonna end, but this is what and then it just cuts out. You know what I mean? Before he says I love you or whatever. So they went for the jokes instead. But
what sucks though? We were talking about how much we love the characters, and then we started moving down to the characters that really did not help us at all with this movie. That could have been not involved in this movie at all. And Xerxes is fine. I think Xerxes, the leader of the ship role, she definitely wanted the 7. I would have kept. Her,
Yes.
Kingo, Ikaris, Ajax, Festos, right? And then
Festos.
Druig, and then who would have been the seventh? I guess Druig's squeeze, Makari.
Yeah.
They call it a day. Let's just call it a day. Everybody else could have been like,
Oh,
no.
Gilgamesh?
I can't. Wait a minute. Damn.
You said it, everybody.
No,
he said it. No love for Gilgamesh.
No,
True colors of Nate have come out.
I gotta throw away Makari then. I gotta keep Gilgamesh. That's right. So let me go through this again. So let's see. We got Xerxes. These characters I forgot they were in the freaking movie. Okay, so Xerxes. Okay, I got Xerxes.
Okay.
I got Gilgamesh. I got Thena. I gotta keep those. Ikaris, Ajax, Festos, and then
one more.
Druig. Yeah,
Okay.
those will be my
seven. There's 7. There's your 7. Your magnificent 7.
Yeah, I would have just kept 7 then.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if you had to cut down to the most pivotal people, Ajax, Cersei, Ikaris, Athena, Gilgamesh, and then I have 2 more.
Well, pretty much.
Honestly,
let's take out the 3.
Okay. I would say Festos and Druig. I wouldn't put Kingo in there.
Oh, really?
I would take out Kingo and take out Sprite and Makari.
Okay.
Because the thing is, like what I said before, Kingo's heel turn at the end of like what his idea was of like for like, hey, I side with Ajax should have been Druig's idea, because he controlled humanity throughout his time on Earth and he knew how bad they were. So for him, he was very null. He would have had more of a muted position toward humanity and letting the Celestial come out. And what they showed in the film, I'm saying, because he did say 1 or 2 lines, but he still controlled them when he needed to, and he had to tell them to let go of the humans. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He's like, let them run. And he's like, all right, begrudging it. So he was more in line of like, hey, I'd be on the side of Ikaris. Then so
at this point, Sprite is gone, Makari is gone, and then Kingo, and then keep this gang.
Yeah,
so keep Gilgamesh, keep Thena, keep Ikaris, keep Ajax, keep Xerxes, and keep Festos and Druig.
Yeah, and that would take out Karoon, and you put Kit Harington back as a Black Knight, and give him that human connection that Cersei's needed. Like Cersei needed those 2 connections. The one side, it's the classic love triangle positioning. It's the Twilight positioning. You have one side, the Ikaris, the eternal, the person that who she is, and all that stuff, and then you have the Kit Harington that represent humanity on the other side. So,
mm-hmm. Well, this is why I give it a 5 out of 10, because they didn't do my boy
Justice,
Kit Harington right / Dan Whitman. A lot of people don't know Dan Whitman. He's a pretty powerful powerhouse in the Marvel. Like he was an Avenger, dude. He's an Avenger. He's a Guardians. Damn, he's everywhere. He's an Eternal. Well,
he was a part. He was a huge part of the
Eternals.
And he was a huge part of Excalibur. Like it was him and Captain Britain who were, and Kitty Pryde for whatever reason, were a part of it.
Like it's literally because that's the thing though. The Black Knight, the Ebony Blade can cut through anything. The Ebony Blade is made of the symbiote god.
Yes, Null.
Who took out one of the Celestials.
Yeah.
So he could cut through anything. My boy can cut through anything. Like anything. Like there's nothing can beat his slash. No defensive. Yes. He could cut through any defensive. That's how powerful Black Knight is. He's an immortal with the Black Knight abilities, and because of that freaking blade.
But the curse is the more you use it, the more mad you get. So that's the curse of the Ebony Blade. But the thing is like they're saying like, hey, if you're doing bad things, it'll lean more into bad stuff, like how Venom is, because it's part symbiote. So if you are doing more mean things, it'll feed off that energy. But the reason Eddie Brock is because he can be able to control that. So and he does the good things. He can make the middle ground.
Yeah, so. Noel. That's the thing though. Like that blade is made of Noel. Okay, like, and I'm here like, damn. So you didn't deal with as much with the Blade, with Black Knight, with Kid Harington at the end with Dan Whitman. Like we saw the end credit scene. He's about to pick up the Blade. Man, I would have gave this movie a 7 out of 10 if he picked up the Blade and turned into Black Knight. Power up. Yes. The body, the armor. Oh,
bro.
God.
But here's the thing. What they did do differently has me even more hyped than that.
Blade.
With Marshall Ali coming in, is like, what are you doing? Are you sure about that?
Blade, bro?
Yeah, that was crazy. I was like, wait, who is that? Sounds so familiar. And I had to look it up. I'm like, oh, the Daywalker. He's back. He's actually introduced. Are you kidding me? I'm like, that's sick. That was awesome. I can't wait for that.
So I'll say this much though, like for people who don't know about the
post
the post credit scene, if they're looking to do a spin-off of these two characters with the Blade movie that's coming out. So these two characters are going to be working together against taking out vampires with Blade. So so that's when we will see the Black Knight come into play.
And I like that, and that's the thing. I do like how they're expanding Blade's background, because like the thing is like having him just be a vampire killer and a vampire, a person that just slays vampires in his movie. I'm like, that's great, but it doesn't lean heavily into the whole Marvel universe. And this is a perfect way of just like, hey, he's the armorer of the Marvel universe. You know what I mean? Like he can give people blades and all that stuff and all that, and he understands that kind of stuff behind weaponry.
Yeah, another thing I want to bring up, they literally Dan Whitman can become Null. Like this could be the gate.
Yes.
For the Ebony Blade to awaken Null, and then having the transformation from Black Knight into Null. That'd be pretty cool.
I mean,
that'd be one way to bring in Null through Black Knight.
It's definitely a way to give a gateway of like, hey, there is something else that's talking through the sword to me that's out into the universe sphere. So that's a great way of introducing a greater threat.
Yeah, originally, because like in the original story for Black Knight, I don't think people those of you who've read the comics, you guys know, but originally Black Knight was created because when Arthur died by one of his his Knights of the Round Table, Merlin had to pick a successor. So he created the Ebony Blade to combat the Excalibur against the one that took it, which was I forgot the name of the guy that killed Arthur. But
I think it was his son that killed him.
Yeah.
So his son came and killed him, and I think that's one of the lore about it.
And then here came Arthur's one of the other Knights of the Round Table to come into play with the Ebony Blade, thanks to Merlin, to help him against to take out the false king at this point. But yeah, this pretty much is Merlin's hand.
Yeah, I mean, Excalibur was in the movie too.
Yeah,
Thena was like wielding around, just throwing it around. So,
but like I said, guys, this is the reason why I gave it a 5 out of 10, because I want to see, like, literally Dan Whitman was the fish out of water character, and they could have introduced him a lot more into the story progression of the Eternals story arcs throughout the entire movie. And I'm here like, this was your fish out of water character, and you just threw him away at the very beginning and give us just a tease with Robb Stark, and that's it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and then the other one, the first one with Pip the Troll and Star Fox, of what they're going to be doing. So we got to see what other Eternals are going to be unveiled in the next iteration of wherever the Eternals are, because it says they will return. So they're going to be doing a sequel, regardless of this doing well or not. So they will be back in some capacity.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing is, if you guys want to check it out in theaters, more than happy to check it out. Just so you know, there's a lot of lore building.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, as a guy who's into film, I'd say watch it in IMAX, because Chloe Zhao really does make the most of her cinematic abilities and directing. There's a lot of on location shots that are not heavily CGI'd, so it makes everything really pop out very well. So if you are going to see it, I'd say suggest it in IMAX just for the cinematic viewing experience of that.
Yeah, I do agree. There is opportunities for fans to go check this out. I'm just letting y'all know. Just be warned. It's not your typical Marvel movie. It has Marvel elements. They could have done a lot better with throwing in some Marvel not themes, but more like cameos into the other movies to show that they were around for 500 years, integrating themselves, or being sort of involved. What was going, like, for example, like let's say Ikaris was in the battle of Avengers with Loki and the Battle of New York. He could have been there just watching things occur. He could have, like, maybe Iron Man came swooping in and saved him in a moment, like he did with Spider-Man in Iron Man 2, but in Avengers, Ikaris didn't need no help. But Iron Man came in and saved him against against some of the aliens that were attacking. I'm just saying, there's different.
It could have
ways
been a lot, but they really made this movie a standalone film. That's the thing about this. Like, it really is just like, if it didn't have a Marvel brand, this could have just been its own kind of thing overall, and which is very weird for Marvel to do. They've kind of moved toward the way of just being, hey, we're inclusive of all this whole franchise, and this is marching forward. But except for this one film, it's honestly, it feels more like a DC film than it does like a Marvel film in terms of tone, like the themes and the philosophy that go on within it. It seems like it's siding with like a Zack Snyder film than it does with any other Feige produced film.
Yeah, it's different, and I don't mind it.
Yeah.
And it's not to the point where it did horrible for me, to the point where I'm not picking up any of the figures. I am picking up the figures, hoping
Thena?
to get me Thena, of course, Gilgamesh, Ikaris. I'll probably get Xerxes and then call it a day, and that's it.
Yeah. Cersei would be pretty cool. I do like the green on her, but honestly, I think the only one Ikaris and Athena would probably be the top tier I would get out of this. I as much as I want Gilgamesh, I don't think he's gonna. I think the best we're gonna see is a damn Cos baby. So
damn, you hurted me with that, bro. Come on,
you know
my boy,
it.
Gilgamesh.
Come on, man. They're not. This movie's not doing too well enough for a third party to even pick it up, which is even worse.
Damn, that hurts. Come on,
and
man.
He's dead, and Gilgamesh is dead. So it's just like you have a better shot of Sprite getting a hot toy than Gilgamesh. So
no, I would not get them all. This is not a movie. I would not get them all. I won't get.
Nate
Sprite.
is gonna get triple of them.
I'm not gonna get Sprite. I'm not gonna get Bakari. I pretty much get, if they make a Kingo, I'll get him. Hot toys, not third party.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. It's very rare for me to get third parties. It has to be a character I really enjoy. Like the third party I'm working on right now. My boy Gerald from Witcher.
Yeah. So, Geralt. Yeah.
Yeah, Geralt. And then he's saying Gerald. Geralt.
Everyone says it.
Yeah. Exactly. They get you out of your damn.
He's gonna get 3 of them, baby. He's gonna get 3 of each.
He's gonna. Come on, guys! I do this for
stormtroopers
and clone troopers. You guys know this. You guys know this. Okay?
He hasn't proven us wrong though. He's just like, it's gonna be like real sly and slow. He's like, "Hey Nate, what'd you get?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I got double of Ikaris." So, anyways, on this new Hot Toys release, and we're like, "Wait, what did he say? Hold up." Like, what you just
anyway?
Oh no, anyways.
Oh damn! I just know that they're probably gonna do 3, 4 if they throw in Xerxes, but I think they're gonna go 3.
Guaranteed.
Ikaris
and
Athena, and then
yeah. Well, we have guarantee on Thena. Well, I mean, not guaranteed that she's coming out, but guaranteed they're working on Athena. But we don't know. I think Ikaris would be the only other person. So.
Yeah, that's what I was saying in the very beginning. Because the certain characters that did die, they will bring them back either as villains. I would love to see Gilgamesh versus Thena. That'd be one. That'd be an emotional fight.
No, Ikaris, dude. I want to see Gilgamesh versus Ikaris, man.
Bro,
I want to see that brawly fight, man. That's basically Broly versus Goku, dude.
Yeah, Yeah,
Broly
yeah.
versus
Mhm.
Goku, just raw power versus just this finesse of just Kamehameha waves.
Literally, the only person that Ikaris could not beat out of this group is Gilgamesh. That's
Yeah.
why Ikaris allowed the Deviant to kill Gilgamesh.
Yeah,
Because
he was holding his own against
Mhm.
the Prime Deviant, right? It was only because he had to save Athena because she was like literally defenseless.
Mhm.
The only reason.
Yeah. Yeah, Ikaris knew what the game he was playing. He needed Gilgamesh dead because that would have been a fight he could not win.
Yep.
Gilgamesh it was on that level, and he had to take on Athena, Gilgamesh, and possibly Kingo in this fight as well. And also the fact that freaking Festus would throw rings at him. He needed Gilgamesh dead.
Yeah.
He needed Gilgamesh dead.
Because if you give Kingo enough time to build up his spirit gun, he could just blow him away easily.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
He needs to go KO Cannon times 10. That's what Kingo needs to do.
KO Ken. Oh my god. KO Ken. Dies 20!
I did like the megalopia, like basically it's like the fear of giant things. I like how they vision that, like when like the celestial came in and you see him in the sky and you're like, oh god, like that would be scary as hell.
Yeah, I love that moment though.
Yeah.
The Celestials was the best part.
Yeah.
Arsum the judge, he was so awesome.
Yes.
I love Arsum. Like Arsum was freaking on point. Like they did a lot of good things with the Celestials. My only problem was the execution for the Eternals. And either way, I enjoyed it. It's not a movie. I like literally if I had to compare any other movie to this, I hate when people are comparing it to Thor 2.
Oh, that Thor 2 is better than this?
Yeah.
Get your head out of your butt.
I did not like Thor 2. Thor 2
was so bad.
Was
I was so. Is that Meow Meow or Mew Mew or whatever?
Yeah.
Like that joke? You think the camera joke in this was terrible? Watch Thor 2. Watch Kate Denning or whatever. Watch her jokes. They fall flatter than I don't know. Help me out here, Nate. Flatter than something. All right, whatever.
I really don't know. Flatter than
sucked.
Yeah, it sucked.
It just sucked. All right, I can't think of anything. It just sucked. That's why I can't think of anything. I'm just angry.
Flatter than Sprite's knockout.
Oh yeah,
rock knockout. Boom,
bam,
bam. Oh my god,
you got knocked up out. Chris Rock comes in there.
It was ridiculous.
So we never went into the other Celestials, right? So you have the unknown or the nowhere head from Guardians of the Galaxy, and then we have Ego, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have those two Celestials. Like Ego's Celestial makes sense because it is in the middle of the Earth, but just never fully formed into a giant being. I think, well, the planet itself is the being itself. So it's kind of weird that you have all these humanoid Celestials except that one. So, I don't know. And then I don't know how that died.
Well, it got killed by Null.
Oh, is that what happened?
Null killed Nowhere.
Really? So, man, I did not know that.
That's why I'm saying that when Kit Harington gets his Dan Whitman power level over 9,000 Black Knight armor, I'm hoping that would lead into Null, taking over Dan Whitman's character and turning him into his next successor as Null Null possessing him.
Yeah.
And then he becomes that'd be great because here's the problem with
he's a conduit on Earth.
Yeah, exactly.
For Null. Yeah.
Yes. That's the problem with the comics. They don't know what to do with Dan Whitman.
No.
And I think this is the best way to do it for Dan Whitman to be a conduit for Null. That'd be perfect.
That'd be a perfect way of setting that up. That'd be awesome. That's an awesome way. I did not know they set that up as that he killed that Celestial. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. Now that's a threat. That's a Thanos level threat.
Thanos level 3. No, that's a Celestial level threat at that point. The Celestials are getting wrecked by Null, the King in Black. It's on, baby. It's on.
Good God.
But after we went through this review, spoiler review, do you feel the same way about this movie?
Yes, man. Still the same way. I still felt that had great ideas and points, but just poorly executed. I went in wanting to hate the crap out of it because of all the reviews, but I ended up liking it a lot more than I thought I would. The ideas, the characterization, the acting for a lot of the characters did a really great job. But there's a lot of but it's one of those movies that it tried to be a thinker, but you can't be thinking about this movie or else you're going to run into a lot of plot points like we just went over through all of them. So if you turn your brain off and just kind of take it for what it is on a face value, it's pretty good. But I still say it's definitely not the worst Marvel movie out there. I think it's one of those movies that definitely needs a longer cut.
Yeah. I'll also say this though, like even though I would like Sentry to be that character as well, because Sentry is also another gateway for Noel. Honestly, like we don't need Sentry. Honestly, I'd rather just go with Dan Whitman and create that character to progress that character versus Sentry. We don't really need him. Honestly, Sentry wasn't even that important until they made him a conduit for Noel, and I'm like, okay, if that's the point, then just make Dan Whitman the conduit. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, and Sentry opens up too much stuff about everything else. Like that stuff needs to be built up needs more time for Sentry to be built into the MCU, because it's like, all right, what's his deal? Is he crazy? Is he not? And I don't know. It's something that doesn't really fit into what the MCU is right now. So him coming in now wouldn't really make a lot of sense. It would just be a poorly written character, which is why I'd rather not have that than to have a half-assed character in there in the first place. I mean, yeah. I mean, the bringing him as the Void.
I said, guys, series, not movie. I agree.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely would have been something better if it was just a Disney Plus series. So, I mean, go see it. If you're going to go see it in IMAX. Like I said, Chloe Zhao does a really great directing job. But it's definitely, I'm going to say this, it's not a Marvel movie. It's not a Marvel movie that you like. If you like Shang-Chi, you won't like this. It's definitely a completely different tone.
Yeah.
As good as it takes. So, I mean, it does have its first kind of sex scene if you're into that.
Anyway, guys, let's pretty much end. They're happening in a little bit. I gotta eat dinner. Yeah,
you're kind of going robot
the
too.
First sex scene, very intimate one. I mean, like it was like the next level.
Yeah. From even for PG-13, you're like, whoa, what's going on?
And the reporter getting the whole.
You're roboting out, Nate, dude.
Yeah,
your, connection
was
like,
look away. It's. Yeah,
is it me?
Connection is getting rough, so
yeah,
that's pretty much ended. I'm happy that we went through this without. No, I think I'm having issues from my end. So anyway, guys, thank you all for watching. If you can hear us right now in my robot, freaking voice. Thank you all for staying and enjoying our first spoiler review of Eternals, and I'm hoping to do this again with V and whoever wants to come in that already seen it, because I know me and V already saw it. I wanted to keep it that way together, and V just with me on the channel, and I was like, yeah, man, let's get this going.
Yeah, let's do it up. And I'm more than happy to be a part of it. So stay tuned for the next one, guys. And thanks for tuning in. And make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Yeah.
Yep, hit the like, subscribe button tomorrow, either at the Wednesday waitlist waitlist Wednesday, or also the 6 p.m. Out of Your Mind stream. So Tate's pulling a V. Oh my god,
you got to get out of here.
What's going on with the internet right now? It's out of your damn mind right now. Disney.
The Disney can't win. You didn't like it,
so later, guys.
They're ending it.
So later, in this freaking galaxy.
Peace. May the weapons be with you.
Yeah.